Hello there, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to the Intel Extreme Masters Asian Final Qualifier for San Jose. We've already had 1 or 2 rounds develop in the bracket. 16 players are fighting for 2 spots to go on to the finals in San Jose.
That's right, and we're jumping in from the winner bracket semifinals, where we're going to be having the best players go up against each other for those 2 spots. None of the big players have been eliminated yet. We are having rounds in the lower bracket currently, and we will start to see some big names being eliminated. For example, we've got Hyun versus Sue in the lower bracket. That's one match to throw out there. You've got Stardust versus Gumiho. So these matches are being played for elimination down in the lower bracket. But of course, we're playing from the winner bracket, and we're going to be covering the 2 semifinals in a row, and then the winner bracket final, which will give us our first player to join Vortex and for GG, who qualified last week from the European qualifier.
Our first semi-final is, of course, going to be Life versus... Who was it? Now I think about it. It was HerO, right?
Right, yeah.
Okay, so HerO versus Life. HerO has always had a really, really good time in the Intel Extreme Masters qualifiers. Life actually hasn't done too badly in them in the past either.
That's right.
Sometimes turned up to open brackets, etc., and has had a lot of success in the past at the Intel Extreme Masters.
Sometimes has just turned up in New York and won an entire tournament.
Yeah.
So, you know, 2 champions going head-to-head here. But, you know, HerO's a 3-time finalist, 2-time champion, but 3-time finalist is, you know, very famous for losing the $100,000 winner-takes-all versus SOS earlier this year at the World Championship of the Intel Extreme Masters. So 2 champions already, just in the semifinals. One of them will be eliminated down to the lower bracket and, of course, have that second chance. But more importantly, one of these players will go on to the final of the winner bracket and play for that slot. And these 2 players are going to give us an entertaining series. They're both very aggressive in their play. We know Life loves his lings. He plays his own Zerg style. But so does HerO. And throughout the ages, HerO's been a Blinkstalker heavy player, loves to be aggressive, loves to go for these gateway sort of timings. So this should provide a very cool and fast series.
Yeah, and from what I've been seeing recently from a lot of the Protoss in Korea, I mean, we saw some of it yesterday, and even Rain this morning was kind of being pretty aggressive against his Zerg opponents and just kind of really getting in the face fast, using big, heavy gateway kind of pressures. HerO likewise was doing some very, very aggressive things against some Zergs recently. So maybe that could be a factor here. King Sage on Station is our first map, and if I recall correctly, HerO was getting like very, very gateway heavy, very aggressive in his opponent's faces.
Yeah, so we should be seeing something similar of that today. These players did play DreamHack Stockholm just, well, I guess it's about a month ago now. In the round of 16, it was one of the first playoff games, and HerO won 2-1 versus Life there. So the last time they played, it was in favor of the CJ player, the CJ Star. And which way is it going to go now? Life has actually defeated San just coming into this one, which is a big win against San, who's very good against Zerg players.
Yes, he
and
is.
before that, he beat Gumiho 2-1. That is Life, of course, who's been trading a lot of wins and losses versus Gumiho recently. So that's an interesting road to where he is now. Where on the other side of things, HerO has gone through Solar, one of the best Zerg versus Protoss players in the world. And then on top of that, he 2-0'd Hyun as well. So he's undefeated coming into this against his 3rd Zerg in a row, Startail Live. So both players is, you know, kind of matching up against each other really well.
Yeah, HerO had a little bit of a rocky day or 2 in the past, actually losing out 2 stats in the final of WECG qualifiers for Korea. But aside from that, I think he's got a good shot against Life here. I mean, Life is Life. He's always like someone that you can't really doubt. Even going into BlizzCon, as much as he's like not the highest of seeds there, he's still a huge contender for positions even at BlizzCon. But these 2, obviously both going to BlizzCon, they are practicing so hard right now for the biggest tournament of the year.
I mean, that's the thing with the bracket that we have, is so many of the players in the bracket are in the middle of training for BlizzCon.
Yeah.
So we get to see a bit of a glimpse of what potentially could come over the next couple of weeks here. I mean, you've got Zest in there, Sue, Stardust, MC, Hyun, these 2 players as well, HerO and Life. So a good mix of but the best players in the world.
Yeah.
But the thing is with HerO and Life, coming up against each other here, they are on a good day, both capable of even challenging for the BlizzCon title here against each other. I mean, against each other kind of, whether they play at BlizzCon or not, they both have the capabilities to go really deep at BlizzCon itself. But thinking then back to what we're in today is just a simple qualifier is, It's kind of funny to think of that way.
Yeah, it's a good point that you mentioned, because at BlizzCon, that if they did actually meet each other later on in the tournament, that would actually be in the final, because they are on opposite sides of the bracket. So that is one of the lesser likely outcomes of BlizzCon. But getting to see them here, both of them. I mean, there's a lot of Zergs and there's a lot of Protoss at BlizzCon overall. So, but actually, just in general at BlizzCon, there's a really good balance of races. So we are now just waiting for these two to get going. We had to remake the lobby because of some issues with the map or something like that. But we're going to be getting in soon. And again, aside from this, there are a few other games we're going to be casting. We're going to be casting the winners' semifinals and then the winners' final. That will determine one spot going on to San Jose. And then we drop down to the lower bracket, where we would normally cast the lower semis and then the lower final. But sometimes the lower bracket runs a little bit slower, and we have to kind of get a few games before that.
Okay, so looks like we are going. I don't know. We were ready to go, but then we weren't ready to go, and I'm not sure what's really going on. So it's been back and forth here between being ready and not being ready, which has kind of put the pace of the broadcast a bit like this already off the go. Yeah,
I'm not sure what's going on, but it seems like HerO's now ready. I think actually both the players are ready, but okay.
I have no idea what's going on between those. It's like an admin, a Chinese caster, and the players. The players are like, can we go yet? And they're like, no.
They like joined and left and joined and left and joined and left.
Whatever. The game is loading, so we are going to get underway with this. So it's still a best of 3, and it's going to be a best of 3 all the way to the final slot from the lower bracket. So every single game today, very important. Every single map, there's not really too much comeback available here, so you can't mess up once, because if you do, then you're going to be in a lot of trouble coming into the last 2 games in a row, not like a best of 5 or best of 7. So every single map, incredibly important. We saw some top quality games yesterday from the Korean-only qualifier, and this is, of course, a combination of all Asia. And the first map going to be King Sejong Station between these two players.
Yeah, and I'm not sure whether or not the Koreans know 100% exactly where this bracket leads to, because in essence, a tournament, Intel Extreme Masters San Jose, they know what Intel Extreme Masters is. I guess they really know what Katowice is, but maybe they don't 100% know what San Jose is, and the arena we're going to be actually holding that in. But anyway, let's get into it. Our first game of the day, as we have spawning down to the bottom right-hand corner, it is our red Protoss representing CJ Entus. It is HerO. And up to the top left, we have our blue Zerg representing Startail, recently sponsored by SanDisk, I think. It is life.
That's right. And the winner of this will be going up against either MC or the winner of Rain and Zest, or the winner of Rain and Zest. Their bracket is still developing there on the other side. HerO, though, I'm expecting to actually win this series, despite how good Life is, and Life is like a Zerg prodigy. For me, HerO is the favored player coming into this one.
Yeah, especially since, to give props to Life, it's very rare that San, in the previous round, actually loses PvZ, but then Life just 2-0'd him because he's Life and he's actually just brilliant.
Right.
So that really kind of shows the capabilities and the product that we can see from Life, but still, HerO is HerO. He is one of, if not, the best Protoss on the planet. Of course, you've got people like Zest in there, people like Rain in there that are really competing for that spot, but HerO is up there.
Yes, he is. He definitely is. Really is. Easily top 5. Easily top 5. So HerO here has chosen a Forge, probably expansion, but because it's a hatchery first coming out from Life, you may challenge this. You usually do see the Protoss players, if they see the hatch, challenge this. So HerO going to start this one off probably aggressive here. Life will spot the probe just outside his natural, and he's already gone up to 16 supply with his drones here. So his supporting pool is kind of late, so he's 100% going to have to pull drones here, and not just 1 or 2. It's going to be more than that.
Yeah, as he saw it with the Overlord, knows what's going on. I mean, this probe was being diligently controlled across the map, so there was certainly an opportunity here for HerO to try and do something with this.
Well,
but
he's got a probe in position to build a Nexus.
Yeah.
I mean, this is a hatchery first. You usually want to cannon rush this.
He's got 400 minerals.
Yeah, there you go.
Try. All right, only 3 drones down here. Makes enough cannons so that only these 3 drones have a hard time really dealing with them.
Yeah, and all the drones pretty much have come off the side from 4 or 5, I think, back at home.
Yeah. This technically hurts Life's income, but if he can actually deal with this fully, then
he's just got to stop the cannon rush, because the Nexus will be incredibly delayed because of this, because of the amount of investment he's putting into the cannons.
He keeps going.
He has to stop the cannons.
Oh wow, he got a drone there as well with his probe. So,
Uh-oh, they're starting to finish up.
Yeah,
Looks like it's going to be successful.
wow. Actually, those 3 cannons, the wall behind there, the way he did it made it really, really difficult, even when he pulled all the drones off.
This is huge. He's already lost about 8 drones.
Yeah, this is a really big deal.
And obviously, there's not going to be that much more to help with the drones here. The Lings are on their way. Cannons are still going to finish up.
Yeah, this is really, really annoying for him.
The probe is gone, but 3 cannons.
And there's a cannon at the front as well.
Hatchery's gone. Yeah, this is a great start here for HerO. It's worked.
I figured HerO would open up pretty aggressive. More and more, I'm seeing Protoss, or Korean Protoss at least, open up aggressive on, especially King Sage on Station more than anything. It's just a good map for cannon rushes, good map for gateway attacks, etc.
Live sees a cannon completed pretty much at the front here, so he has to go around to the back, the destructible debris. Maybe that's an opening here that HerO won't think about. He has to, though.
Yeah.
These rocks will break rather fast here with so many Lings on them.
Yes, they will.
And it is only Ling production. Life knows he's super far behind here. He's only building Lings. If he breaks that back rocks and actually gets into here, this could be game.
Yeah, this
HerO
is really
needs to be careful about it. He needs to actually be building a pylon, a wall off, a cannon, anything on the other side here.
Yeah, and he's not even paying attention. He's just going gases. He doesn't...
Okay, he's checking now, but this is really late. This is really late of check. He's now going to have to squeeze in a pylon immediately on this other side.
Yeah. It's not the same as, say, what we saw from, I think it was Rain yesterday, who had the opportunity to get Zealot Stalker out and defend against these rocks, because Cybernetics calls pretty late, and Lings were almost going to go from both sides here.
Yeah, he hasn't made a full wall off. I think there is a gap between the gas and the Cybercore, but the rocks at the back are going to be broken.
Yeah. There's no pylon here. This Zealot is going to try and buy some time on the
Zealot's
ramp.
being chrono boosted here, out. I mean...
So many Lings, 22 Lings.
Yeah, this is a lot of Zerglings here. HerO, as good as the cannon rush was, and it was successful.
Oh, he's going to run past the cannon. Okay, well, he's actually going to go straight for the cannon. That's a little bit
yeah, the Zealot popped out at the right time there, but the rocks are still broken.
Yeah,
he's
that's a lot of Lings. He could just walk up into the main.
He will.
Oh, well, he's going to go for the cannon instead and actually just go for this straight. If he got that pylon and shut down the gateway, etc., then what is HerO going to do?
A Mothership Core is on its way. Probes are coming off the line hit.
This...
Cannon is down.
But was it enough? There's
well,
more
he
Lings
has
on
to
the way.
kill with this, obviously. And he's made a wall here with the Zealot. And this has gone not so good.
Should he have not just ran up into the main and tried and done something there?
Yeah, I guess you pull probes around and stuff.
Yeah.
But HerO is going to take map number 1. I mean, if he goes to the main, he drills the probes back down to the natural, and then he doesn't get any probe kills. So he had to go for that. But I really thought he was going to do more than that. It looked like he was going to.
Well, HerO takes a 1-0 quick lead in this series, and yeah, for me at least, that's what I expected. I expected aggression from HerO.
Yeah.
A lot of Protoss really want to kill off their Zergs quick at the moment, and even, again, the more defensive Protoss is like Rain, who was going for such aggression against Sue earlier on in this tournament. So, yeah, HerO with that 1-0 lead. Pretty good start.
Yeah, kind of a silly game there. I mean, opening up for the hatch first on this map, every Protoss seemingly opens up for a Forge expansion or cannon rush there. So the hatchery was in a risk in itself. Life had to do damage. I mean, he lost. He's on one base. So you have to do something. But HerO manages to hold on and kind of easily.
All right, okay, so looks like we are good to go into the second map. Catalina is going to be our second map, and I think this isn't too bad a map for Life to kind of equalize things up, but HerO could happily, again, I really feel like some gateway kind of play is going to come out from HerO. Like the +2 blink thing that we saw from Rain yesterday is certainly a great option with sentries in support to throw down a lot of force fields and then use the blink later on once the force fields have dissipated.
Yeah.
It's really, really powerful right now against Zergs.
And he's probably going to do it, so... Well, I mean, we'll see. Life, though, definitely is capable of pulling this one back and equalizing this series up here.
Yeah.
And funny thing is Zest is on the road towards the finals here in the winner bracket, to be honest. He's, well, actually, no, I say that. I'm looking at some results. Rain actually took map number 1 away from him.
Oh, wow.
So Rain challenging Zest there in the earlier parts of the winner bracket. Of course, the winner of that goes up against MC. And then to play at the winner finals there. Zest, of course, a big favorite coming into this qualifier to go through. Big favorite for BlizzCon in a couple of weeks. A player that we will more than likely be broadcasting a little bit later on.
Mm-hmm. All right, well, let's get into this as we have spawning down to the bottom right-hand corner. Game number 2, it is HerO, representing CJ Entus. And up to the top right, it's our blue Zerg, representing StarTale. It's Life.
Yeah, CJ here, of course, 3-time finalist of the Untouched Dream Masters. No stranger here in the qualifiers. He's been playing the qualifiers for years now. And, of course, competing at the main events for a year or so as well. Over a year now, I suppose.
I actually think Intel Extreme Masters has the best qualifiers in StarCraft 2.
Yes, of course. I mean,
yeah.
what other tournament really runs a qualifier, though? That's the thing. I mean, you've only got online and maybe Home Story Cup.
Yeah, true.
They run that one.
Yeah, Intel Extreme Masters, at least we get to see some fantastic games before the tournament themselves. And San Jose, I mean, already gearing up with this lineup going through to be a fantastic tournament.
Well, look at this. I expected to see aggressive games from these two players. They're both very aggressive players, and that's kind of their attitude and play style. And we already see here from Life a 9-pool coming out. So he's opened up for a 9-pool against a Gateway first here. It's not ideal, let's put it that way, because of course with the Gateway down faster, he's going to have access to a Zealot earlier. And a Zealot or two, depending on when he scouts what he scouts, if he even builds a Zealot, is going to be good enough to stop this, usually. But it does come down to, usually Protoss, when they're opening like this, do like to skip the Zealot, or build it, then cancel it to get the Nexus a little bit faster, because of how uncommon an early spawning pool is. 6 Lings are on the way. And Life is going to know his opponents down to the bottom right already here. So first of all, do we see HerO build a Zealot? If he does he then want to cancel it to get a faster Nexus down?
It's a good question. It's a good question, because
right
now...
do these Lings get there before he has the chance to cancel it? Does the probe spot this now? Which way does it go, left or right?
Looks like we're going to go up.
And he's not building a Zealot here. Oh, no, he is. Yeah.
It's on the way. It's on the way. That probe does... Oh,
and the probe spears the Ling, so he sees the Ling. So now he knows not to cancel the Zealot, but he just spent a Chrono Boost on the Nexus, which would have been ideal for that Zealot to come out, and also a second one. He's going to be wanting to cover and protect that pylon, obviously powering the Gateway. HerO knows he's not taking an expansion anytime soon, so throws down a second gas. And he's going to have to use his next Chrono Boost on another Zealot.
Yeah, and he's pulled these probes off. He wants to keep that pylon alive. The second pylon he threw down wasn't covering the Gateway, so this one is the only one covering this first Gateway.
Oh, the Zealot does not want to get surrounded, so he backs up, puts his back against the wall of the Gateway and the pylon. And Chrono Boost actually going into the Mothership Core here.
Yeah, that's going to help out a lot. Because
good micro by HerO.
And the Zerglings are going to be fended off. Very difficult here from now on from Life to really break anything. He's gone into gas, though.
2 games in a row, Life has fallen behind quite drastically here.
Yeah.
The Stalker, Mothership Core Zealot, no amount of slow links here are really going to stop this, unfortunately. HerO will, or should, look to expand quite fast behind this. And he's already started his Warp Gate research, naturally, having the Cybernetics core down early.
And what, from this point on, stops... I mean, HerO has options, I guess, right? He could play just a normal game, get a Nexus, and then play out a big macro game with knowing the lead. But with all of the lava invested into the Lings this early, there is the opportunity for, like, a gateway push,
look, he's going to try and cancel the Nexus, by the way.
Ooh, this is a nice
he can go for a
around.
gateway push, but he did a run around. He hit his Lings. He comes back in. This is a nice move if he gets the cancel, but the Stalker and Mothership Core were not that far away.
Really good retreat out, saving that probe. The surround does go down on this Zealot almost. Trying to get it and does in the end, but he's lost so many Lings during all of this.
And 8 more on the way, by the way. Life takes out a gas. He's going to get Zergling speed, and it looks like he's just going to flood with Zerglings here, unless they're just to push back the Zealot and Stalker Mothership Core. But if he builds any more than what he's building now, we are going to see a flood. And he is. He's adding on more. Life is adding on more Lings, so he's going to try and break this natural area. We do have a sentry on the way, a Forge 2. The Mothership Core will have a Photon Overcharge, so 1 force field on that ramp connecting the 2 bases, then a Photon Overcharge on the Nexus. But he's not going to be caring about that Photon Overcharge. He's going to want to try to eat the Nexus.
Stalker's moving out into the middle of the map. If it does see extra Lings out here, then
look,
the game will be given away.
There's a wall with a sentry, with 2 sentries, with a Photon Overcharge available.
Breaking this is going to be difficult. Really
Breaking this is almost impossible.
Well, Lings are going to keep poking forwards. These 2 sentries, he has to be not paying attention at the front, but he already... throws down a force field, only 1 Ling in there, and sees even more Lings moving across the map. All he has to do is bunker down and keep sturdy, and then he's going to be totally fine.
There is no way that he's taken a loss versus these Zerglings here. Extra gateways finishing up. Warp Gate research is already done, so as soon as these gateways are here, he can actually build on like 3 sentries, 4 sentries, 5 sentries, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Doesn't matter. He can force field this ramp till the end of time. And with the Stalker seeing this many Zerglings and no third base, he will warp in more sentries. He'll have 2 Photon Overcharges by the time that this first one finishes, or should I say a second one by the time this first one finishes.
He didn't see those links.
The
without
only way
hallucination.
this works is if HerO makes a mistake.
Yeah, no, definitely, definitely. There's more and more sentries just being warped in. He knows all he has to do is hold.
Force fields,
Yeah.
all day, every day. This game is over life.
Yeah, he's got 19 workers against 38. Anything that he wants to do behind this is fine.
Well, lucky for you, mate, you've got an extra life because you can play in the lower bracket, but your first one, gone. HerO, 2-0, quite fast there. Cannon rush into a defense against aggression.
Yeah, the life just didn't even bother because in the end he knew how severely behind he was there. So that means Zest now moves on to the winners bracket final, and we will be seeing him a little bit later on after our second semi.
Yeah, which is going to be in a little bit here. We might be able to jump into the semi-final MC versus either Rain or Zest, just because the bracket's still quite far behind.
Yeah.
Zest was away for quite a bit, actually, almost 45 minutes worth of away, which slowed up that side of the bracket. So hopefully we should be able to jump into, like I said, MC versus Rain or Zest.
Yeah, awesome stuff. So, all right, guys, so join us after the break. It might be a little bit more of a prolonged break than usual for more games here from StarCraft at the Intel Extreme Masters San Jose Qualifiers for the Asian region.